You should see, you see my screen, you know what to do. You can go to the QR code and you can take a photo of that, or you can go to www.kahoot.it. Okay, and then you put in your nickname, which is just your name. Oh, Johnny's in. He's an expert now. Chiara's in. Thank you, Chiara. Okay, Bruna's in. Okay. Bruna, Chiara, Johnny. Louisa is in.
Yes.
Is that everybody? Who else is in the room there?
Yes, we are 2 people here in the room. And 2.
Okay, everybody's in. Is anybody else online trying to get in? I think that's it. I'm just going to check one more thing here. I think we're okay. All right, so let's get started. The United States Constitution is our subject today. Uh-oh, who did I lose? Bruna's in, Johnny's in.
Chiara.
Louisa, Chiara, where's Chiara? I'm just gonna wait for Chiara to come back in. Chiara, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Okay.
you. I was there.
Okay, re-enter. Maybe
I
your
tried-
screen turned off. Yeah. You have to go back
yes.
in. If your screen turns off, sometimes it kicks you out, but you can just re-enter.
Okay.
During the game, if
I
you get kicked out, just go back in. Okay.
Questo nickname già lo uso. Ok, boh.
Okay.
I have a question.
Okay. Johnny, yeah.
What is the difference between the Bill of Rights and the Constitution?
Okay, good question. The Constitution is made up of 3 parts, okay? There's an introduction, which is called the preamble, okay? That's the sort of explanation why we need a Constitution, okay? And then the second part is the Constitution itself, and it has 7 articles, okay? And all it does is a very simple document, 4 pages long, and it just says, listen, here's what it says. Our government, the United States government, is made up. The first 3 articles talk about the 3 branches of government. The legislative branch, okay, which would be the Congress and the House. The second part is the executive branch, which is the president. And the third one is the judicial one. So it's the Supreme Court. Those are the 3 parts of the government. So those are the first 3 articles. It just defines them. The 4th article talks about the states. At that time, there were 13 states. So those 13 states, what is their relationship to the government? Then the 5th article just says, hey, it's possible to change this Constitution, and here's how you change it. And a change is called an amendment. Okay. Then number 6, Article 6, just talks about it talks about how you belong, how you make an oath to the government, basically that you belong to the government. And it's not quite that, but it talks about debt supremacy and oaths. Okay. And then the 7th article is ratification, how the Constitution becomes a constitution. Okay. Then, but that was finished, but it wasn't specific enough. And so, in 1789, that's when that was all signed. Okay, great. Now we have this new, very flexible living document that we can change. But the problem was that it didn't cover everybody's rights. And so they came up with the Bill of Rights just 2 years later. In 1791, they ratified 10 new changes to it. So the first one was the freedom of speech and religion, etc. The Second Amendment is the right to bear arms or to have a gun, basically, or any kind of protection. The third one just gave you a right not to have soldiers stay in your home if they were going to go fight in a war. You did not necessarily have to have them in your home, which now we don't really worry about, but then apparently was an issue. The Fourth Amendment talks about illegal search and seizure, which means that you cannot stop a person, like the police cannot stop a person and search them unless they have a valid reason. This is why we don't have posti di blocco in America for the cars, because you have to have a valid reason before you stop a car. Okay. The Fifth Amendment just says that if there's something, if you go to trial because you did something wrong, you have a right not to be a witness against yourself. Okay. Number 6 says that you have a right to a fast trial if you are in the, the criminal justice system. The 7th one says that you have a right to have a trial with a jury, just a giuria, if there is money at stake that's at a high enough amount. The 8th Amendment says is against cruel and unusual punishment. So if someone, if you steal a piece of candy, they can't, put you on death row. So the punishment has to fit the crime. And also you can't ask for excessive, too much money if someone's in jail for them to be able to get out before their trial. You can't ask them for millions of dollars if it was a traffic stop or something. And then the 9th Amendment just says that the Bill of Rights does not, these rights don't mean that you don't have other rights. You also have other rights. And then the 10th Amendment very simply says whatever is not covered here is covered by the states. Okay, so those are the 10 original Bill of Rights. They all came out at the same time in 1791. And then after that, there were other amendments that were made throughout time to cover other things, which we'll talk about during our Kahoot. Now, who am I missing now? Bruna's missing. Where did you go? Bruna's in. Chiara's in. Johnny's in. Louisa's in. Let's get started. Did that answer your question, Johnny?
Thank you. It's okay enough. Thank you.
Okay. Here we go. U.S. Constitution. Again, we couldn't fit anything in here, but everything. But it's just for fun. Okay, so this is a quiz. The U.S. Constitution is one of the shortest in the world. 4 pages. True or false? It is true. It's only 4 pages, which I just told Johnny. Okay. Let's see if I can go to the next page. Oh, okay. Good job, Johnny. Good job, Bruna. Next. The U.S. Constitution's basic purpose, or the scope, is to red, establish civil rights, yellow, delineate government authority limits, blue, delineate government limits and establish citizens' rights, or green, none of these. Remember, you can have more than one answer. It is just delineate government limits and establish citizens' rights, okay? So it doesn't give us civil rights. It doesn't give us, doesn't say what the limits are of the government, but it does kind of explain, like the first 3 articles talk just about the government and what our rights are. Whoa, super. In what year was the U.S. Constitution signed? Did you listen when I was talking? Was it red, 1756, yellow, 1787, blue, 1768, or green, 1795? Oops, I gave you a wrong date before, didn't I? Yeah, I said 1789 before, and I meant to say 1787. So if you got that wrong, it's my fault. Sorry about that. Okay. Oops. Forgive me. Oh, Johnny got it right anyway. True or false? The U.S. Constitution has 3 sections: the preamble, the articles, and the amendments. That's right. You were listening. Good for you. Oh, good, good, good. Quiz. Why is the U.S. Constitution considered a living document? Red, it can still be seen in a museum today. Yellow, it promotes welfare and freedom. Blue, it can be amended. Or green, it limits the powers of government. It can be amended. Good for you. You were listening. So that's what makes it, that's the beauty of the Constitution. It's very simple, but it can be changed. And so that's why it's considered a living document. Johnny's on fire. Look at that. Bruna's in second. Chiara, 3, is in third place. And Louisa, good job. Quiz. What are the writers of the U.S. Constitution called? Do we have a specific name for them? Are they the framers, red, the pilgrims, yellow, the explorers, blue, or the amendments, green? Sounds like a rock band. Okay, good. So we call them the framers because they created this framework. Okay, it's kind of a nice word, isn't it? The amendments are actually the changes to the Constitution. So the amendments are the changes. All right, look at that. Johnny has a streak with 4 correct answers. Super good. Quiz. The father of the U.S. Constitution. Is it James Madison, red, George Bush, yellow, Barack Obama, blue, or Bill Clinton, green? Well done. Right,
Can
it
you
couldn't have been any of the others, right? It had to be.
can you tell me something about James Madison, because he's not so known in Italy.
He's not famous here.
Not
He's one
famous.
of the basically one of the 3 writers of the Federalist Papers. He was a Federalist. And he was like he wrote a lot of this Constitution. He was a great thinker, so he's famous for that. He's a good writer. And he was very interested in selling the idea of the Constitution. So he did a lot of writing to back it up. So James Madison in America is a name that we recognize because of his contribution to the Constitution. So he is considered one of the founding fathers of the United States, but also really the father of the Constitution because he wrote the most of it.
Thank you.
Okay. Ooh, got a mosquito in my house. Yeah. Quiz. Multi-select. You can select more than one answer. The Federalist Papers were written in support of the U.S. Constitution. Name the 3 writers. Red, James Madison. Alexander Hamilton, yellow. Blue, Joe Biden. John Jay, green. There are 3 writers, so you have to choose 3 answers. Did you get them? Yes, nobody chose Joe Biden. Good for you. So James Madison, we just talked about him. Alexander Hamilton, maybe you recognize, he was on the $10 bill. He also has a musical in America named after him called Hamilton. He created the American economic system, basically. So he's kind of an under-celebrated character in now he's more celebrated because of the musical about him, which is the first musical in America to have hip-hop music, and it's really fun. If you can watch it on Disney Plus, if you have Disney Plus, watch Hamilton. John Jay, nobody's ever heard of this guy. The only thing we know about him is that he was one of the writers of the Federalist Papers, but really a big writer for the Federalist Papers was Alexander Hamilton. He really, really, really believed he wanted to be a soldier all his life. He was a great academic, but he started as an orphan, and he moved to the United States from the Caribbean, and he always wanted to fight for freedom. He wanted to be a soldier, but anybody around him wanted him to be someone who could sell the idea of the Constitution. He was the assistant to George Washington. George Washington really relied on him, and he really was a prolific writer and definitely was one of the made it a lot easier to sell the idea of the Constitution because he wrote so much about it. And John Jay, still don't know that much about him, but he was part of the deal too. Oh, good. You guys are so smart. Quiz. What rights are granted by the U.S. Constitution? The right to vote, red. The freedom of speech, yellow. Right to bear arms, blue. Freedom of religion, green. I should really say by the amendments, not by the U.S. Constitution. Okay. Yeah, it was really all of these. Okay. So they were not part of the original Constitution, which, like we said, really just talked about, how the government's formed. But the amendments gave us the rights here. Okay. This blue one, the right to bear arms, is our big problem now because nobody wants, well, a lot of people want to change it to make sure there's more gun control so people have less guns. But it's very, very difficult because it has been in the Constitution for so long. Many people don't want to change it, but it's a big problem. Good job. Quiz. What is the introduction to the U.S. Constitution called? Is it called the intro, the preamble, We the People, or Welcome to America? Yeah, it's called the preamble. And it starts, We the People. Maybe you saw that? Good job. Oh, Bruna, you are on fire. 7 correct answers in a row. Look at that. Good job. What are the most famous words of the preamble to the U.S. Constitution? Is it life, liberty, happiness? Give me liberty or give me death? We the people, or live long and prosper? It's we the people. Live long and prosper is the only one that would be pretty out of place. That's Star Trek, isn't it? But the other ones, I could see. Okay, good job. Johnny's still number 1, but Bruna is catching up there. All he needs to make is one little mistake, and I could see the whole thing just changing. True or false? In the 1970s, American children learned the preamble by watching Saturday morning cartoons. It's absolutely true. I'm one of those people. I can sing it for you. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union. Oh, such a great song, such a great cartoon. In fact, in your lesson for this week, I am putting that link so that you can watch it. Watch a 1970s cartoon and you can learn the preamble just like I did, and all of my family, all of my friends. We all knew all of how laws worked, how the preamble went, because of Saturday morning cartoons called Schoolhouse Rock. And they had a whole thing just about the American government. Because, children in America in the 1970s watched a lot of television. I was definitely one of them. Now we complain about children on their phones, but then it was the TV. All right. Bruna, highest answer. My goodness. Ay, ay, ay. Look at that. Quiz. The U.S. Constitution has articles. Those are that as the part of the actual Constitution, not the amendments. 5, 7, 6, or 8. How many articles? There are 7 articles. Remember, the first 3 were just about the government, and the last 4 were the states, amendments, debts, and ratification. Good job. Johnny, did you memorize the Constitution before you came here?
No, no.
Maybe you did. But now that Chiara's on fire, she has a streak of 7. Maybe, Chiara, did you memorize the Constitution before you came here today?
No, I
No,
didn't.
you look like you did. My goodness. Here we go. Which state ratified the U.S. Constitution first, becoming the first state? Was it Delaware, Pennsylvania, Georgia, or Rhode Island? You can see where the states were on the right there. Okay. Yeah, it was actually Delaware. Everybody thinks it's Pennsylvania because Pennsylvania is so linked to American history from that time. But if you look at this crazy, this was America at that point. I want to show you this because if you look in the center, like right here, if you think about this was America. So anything from here on was really the West. Okay. We
What is
consider the
Delaware?
West. Huh?
Where is Delaware here?
Where is where am I here?
Delaware, where is?
Delaware. It's a tiny, it's up here somewhere. It's a really tiny state. It's in here somewhere.
Okay.
I don't know which one it is. It's the smallest state besides Rhode Island. But this part of the country now is called the Midwest. Okay. Now, if you look at it, you think, oh, it's the center of America, but really it's considered practically west because this was the perspective. Everything here was sort of the center. Everything else was west. But yeah, Delaware now is famous for being kind of the place you open a business because you don't pay taxes. It's like like offshore, Delaware and Florida. There we go. Quiz. According to Article 1 of the U.S. Constitution, the president is commander-in-chief of the U.S. military. Yellow, the judicial branch is responsible for judicial review. Blue, Congress has the power to declare war. Green, individual citizens are guaranteed rights in each state.
I think Biden is from Delaware, is it?
Yes, he is. Well done. Absolutely, he is. In fact, until he became president, took the train from Delaware to Washington all the time. So yeah, in the first article, I didn't mention this when I was talking, but it talks about the legislative branch and the fact the legislative branch, of course, is Congress, and they have the right to declare war. I didn't mention that. Sorry.
No,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Is it okay, it is in the first article, but
It's in yes, in the legislative article, because the first article talks about Congress. And one of the rights one of the responsibilities or rights that Congress has is they can declare war.
Okay.
The second article talks about the president. So in the first one, we talk about Congress. The second one, president. And the third is the court, the Supreme Court. Quiz. Which right is not guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution? Freedom of religion, red. Sorry, I keep having these stupid pop-ups. The right to a fair trial, yellow. Blue, freedom of the press. And green, the right to an education. Which one is not guaranteed? Yeah, isn't that crazy? So the right to an education is not part of it. Okay, so the freedom of religion is guaranteed in that First Amendment. Right to a fair trial also is in the amendments. Freedom of the press is also in the First Amendment. Right to an education does not exist. There's been a revolution. Johnny, you've been usurped by Bruna. Oh my goodness, what does this mean? Bruna, way to go. John, you've got to get your place back. All right, quiz. According to the U.S. Constitution, who elects the President of the United States? Russian hackers, red. The Electoral College, yellow. State governors, blue. State legislators, green. Electoral College. Wow, you all knew that. Good for you. So this is one of the problems right now, right when Trump was president, because it's not a popular vote. So you can actually have a majority win, but that doesn't mean that you have enough electoral votes to win, because each state has a certain number of votes, and there's called the people who vote on behalf of their state are called the Electoral College. There are many people who don't feel like it's fair because it doesn't go by the majority. But again, it's in the Constitution. If it's in the Constitution, it's very, very difficult to change that system. Okay, so it may not be fair. And also, Donald Trump right now has been indicted or accused of having fake. Maybe you've heard about the fake Electoral College. He wanted to have people kind of vote for him instead. So this is now something that's in the courts right now. Good job. Bruna is making a comeback with 3 in a row. Quiz. What are the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution called, Johnny? Is it the Bill of Rights, Article 2, Article 1, or Article 5? Good job. It's the Bill of Rights. Okay, so those first 10 articles that were all kind of passed at the same time, those are called the Bill of Rights. Wow, Chiara, good job. Very nice. Louisa, you're there. Good job. Go faster. You got to catch up to Chiara. Be competitive. All right. In 1865, the 13th Amendment abolished guns, red, slavery, yellow, big hair, blue, or school, green. Oh, good. Thanks for... It was pretty obvious, right? So in 1865, that's when we finally finished slavery. I put my phone into flight mode, but I still keep getting WhatsApps. It's so annoying to me. Okay, quiz. Which amendment to the U.S. Constitution officially abolished slavery in the United States? Which amendment? What number? Did you pay attention? Was it the 12th, the 14th, the 13th, or the 15th? It was the 13th Amendment. I told you in the question before. You got to pay attention. I'm sneaky. Next. In 1919, the 18th Amendment prohibiting the manufacture and sale of alcohol began the era of, boop, was it prohibition? The era of no more parties, dry days, or sad, sad times? Yeah, I'm sure there were sad times. Yeah, it was prohibition. It was 13 years. 13 years with no alcohol in America. And that's when people opened these bars that were kind of hidden rooms called speakeasies. So a speakeasy is the name for an illegal bar during the time of Prohibition. There were lots of nightclubs, places where you could hear good music too and drink alcohol. Those were called speakeasies. Johnny's back on top. Bruna's in second. Kat is in third. Louisa, let's go. The 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution protected the right to vote for women, or prohibited the sale of manufacture of alcohol. Blue allowed for the direct election of senators. Green allowed the federal government to collect income taxes. This was the right for women to vote.
In which year?
You know what? I looked it up yesterday and I just immediately forgot. What did we say? Let's look it up. It's the 19th Amendment, right? Amendment. Embarrassingly recent. Let's see when it was. What year? I'm looking in the National Archives, which is my favorite place to look for this. 1912? No, sorry. 1920. Passed by Congress June 4th, 1919, and ratified on August 18th, 1920. Okay, here we go. Quiz. The most famous signature of the U.S. Constitution, was it Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, John Hancock, or Benjamin Franklin? Good for you. Did you see? I put the picture there. This is the most famous one. Stop bothering me. What's up? So the John Hancock was the first person to sign the Constitution. And if you look at the signature after his, it's all tiny. John Hancock wrote it very, very big. He did that on purpose to kind of make a statement to the English. So it was his way of saying, you know what? I really believe in this. So when we tell people to sign a document, by the way, the verb to sign, S-I-G-N, the G is silent. But when we say signature, we pronounce the G and the N, okay? So we say to people, hey, put your John Hancock on this document, and that means please sign the document. That was fast. Chiara, good job. You're in third place. Second place, Bruna, yay. First place. Johnny with pancakes on his head. Look at that. Runners up, Louisa and the other Chiara. Very good. I'm very happy. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. Okay. Let's see. I'm back on my screen and I can see you. What can you guys see? Let's see. There we are. If you'd like, I would like to share that song with you. Do you want to hear the preamble? We have some time. So I'm going to see if I can share that with you. Now, remember, this is a very old video. I hope that the sound comes in. So maybe keep your microphone on and you can tell me if you can actually hear the video. Sometimes I have a problem with sharing sound. Let me see if I can share that. Let's see. Let me try it and make you guys small. Can you see what I see? Can you see the Schoolhouse Rock video?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of queued it up. Actually, I'm going to go to the beginning so you can, this is where, like, when you see these 6 silly people, that's when you know that the actual preamble is starting. But I want you to see what we watch from the beginning. Okay. Tell me if you can hear it, though. Can you hear that?
I didn't hear you. No,
There's no sound?
no sound.
Okay. Let me see if I can figure out. Share sound.
About the USA.
Yeah.
Do you know about the government? Can you tell me about the Constitution? Hey, learn about the USA. In 1787, I'm told our founding fathers did agree to write a list of principles for keeping people free. The USA was just starting out, a whole brand new country, and so our people spelled it out, the things that we should be. And they put those principles down on paper and called it the Constitution, and it's been helping us run our country ever since then. The first part of the Constitution is called the preamble and tells what those founding fathers set out to do. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. In 1787, I'm told our founding fathers all sat down and wrote a list of principles that's known the world around. The USA was just starting out, a whole brand new country, and so our people spelled it out. They wanted a land of liberty, and the preamble goes like this. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America, for the United States of America.
Catchy, no?
Very,
Nice.
very nice. Very nice.
Isn't that great? So
Great
that,
idea.
What
isn't that wonderful? I
What-
I definitely have that for you guys.
What-
Jenny.
No, just say what I love about Americans is this strong sense of patriotism.
Yeah, it's
I think-
interesting, isn't it? And it's true. You're very right. And I think also because in America, you know, again, this is my sense that sometimes maybe it's different now, but I feel like we identify as Americans, not so much as who's the president. Okay. So even today I was listening to a podcast with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the bodybuilder, right? And he was the governor. He's a Republican governor. He's not now. Now he's written a book. So he was talking about his book. And it was interesting because he was talking about when he was governor and how he talked to people. And he said, you know, he would go and use different language when he talked to Democrats or Republicans, but basically he was always able to work together because people saw a bigger idea, right? That, you know, the idea of America is a big idea, right? And it's an inclusive model, and it's something that you can get behind. We don't identify well, we do sometimes now. I mean, I think things have changed. We become very polarized, but in general, we don't identify the flag with one party or the other, which is different than than Italy, I think, right? So it is, you're right. We have a kind of a different concept. So it's sort of a but I love watching those cartoons, the Schoolhouse Rock videos. I put in your lesson, which is just some links today. But it has the link to Schoolhouse Rock, which were these cartoons created by a teacher in the 1970s to make sure that children were still getting the education about how their government, how their government was formed, how it works, etc. So it explains, there's songs about how a law gets passed, but there's also math. There's Schoolhouse Rock for math. There's also grammar, but there's also one part about the American government. And that song, the preamble, everybody my age knows that song. So if you say, "We the people," anybody my age can sing the entire thing, right? And we love it because it's such a great, all those songs were really catchy. You know what I mean? Catchy, like you just like them. They have a good sound to them. Good. Anything you learned today or anything interesting about I wish I could see Bruna and Louise. I can't see you guys because the camera's on the other side. You know what you can do? You can move to my seat, Bruna and Louisa. Do you want to go up front so we can see you?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
Go sit where I normally sit.
I'm sorry, because here is an echo, and it's very, very difficult to listen clearly what you are saying. I'm sorry.
Okay. Go to the front of the room.
Go to the front of the room.
Yes.
I don't know.
To the red chair.
Maybe here.
Yes. Hi. Yeah. Sit down. Yeah.
Ah,
perfect. Yes. Sit down.
Should I sit?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. And Louisa?
Louisa, come here.
Yes.
Oh.
Better.
Now you can see us.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful, wonderful.
Beautiful. Louisa, come.
Yes, unfortunately, in our room, there is an echo, and it's very, inconvenient to follow your speech, your explanation, but it's okay.
I'm sorry.
No problem. The most was the game, and we could read, and so it's okay. No problem for me.
Okay, good. Louisa, how are you?
Yes, it's a little difficult for me to follow you because you speak normally. You speak normally, but I need people that speak a little slowly. And also here in the room is like echo.
Echo, yeah.
Echo, yes. It's loud and echo, and that is not so good to the comprehension.
Okay. So it's important to communicate that to the desk, no?
Yes, yes. I do
Okay.
it.
Perfect.
Okay.
Chiara, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for this hour spent together.
I'm
It's
so happy to see
a
you.
pleasure for me. Yes, I'm so
What
happy
did you,
too.
good. What did you learn today?
Um, it has been quite interesting.
Hello.
There is some problem, Johnny.
Excuse me, I have to leave now. I'm leaving.
Bye, Johnny.
Bye-bye. Sorry.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I didn't know. I didn't know about that there were a constitution and, let me say, attached a bill of rights that are
Changes or
yes,
additions.
yes,
Yeah.
and
I
other
think,
aspects too. Yeah,
yeah, it was more information.
yes,
But
yes.
it's interesting how simple the laws are. Very, very simple.
Mm. And I made when you were talking, I made some comparison between the American and the Italian Constitution, and
Oh,
the difference that they are similar because, of course, but any constitution, in every constitution, I think they have, I'm sorry, the legislative, no, Congress,
mhm.
the executive power, and of course the judiciary. I don't remember. Judicial,
Judicial.
sorry, judicial, and but yeah, the Italian constitution is very difficult to change, and we understood today that I think it's easier for the American one. So more or less, I think.
I
Yeah.
think the process is simple, but its mentality very difficult to convince people to change because they really
Mhm.
respect the original
Yeah.
constitution.
And I have a question, because for the Italian constitution, the first part of the constitution that contains all the human rights, let me say, is not changeable. It cannot be changed. So
Interesting.
is the American Constitution entirely, can it be entirely changed, or some part are for forever?
Good question. Everything can be changed, but normally, in fact, we will talk in a different lesson about American law, but it is based on the past, okay? The interpretation of the past or precedent. So it's difficult to remove rights. Normally, we
Mhm.
add rights. The difference is with the last amendment that took away women's right to have an abortion.
Yeah,
That is
I
the
was thinking to that.
first, yeah, it's the first time in American history that a right was taken away. Normally, only rights are given. So that is very different for us.
Mhm. Mhm. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bruna, if I speak slowly, is it better?
Absolutely, of course. I can understand almost all you are saying if you speak slowly. Absolutely, it's wonderful.
Okay. Thank you
Thank you
for
too.
reminding me.
You too. No, but it's important, like you say, Norman, it's important to take part in and to try to understand if some words, I miss some words, no problem. Only I need to review what you, not the game, it's impossible to review, but when you send us the sources, or the documents, or it's very nice to have time and the tranquility, I don't know, to review and to have the time to reflect on to yes.
Good.
Because it was very fast.
It's true. We have this much time and this much information.
Yeah.
So that's why I send the links also, because if you think it's interesting, it's good to go back. Okay, I like this, or this is different. So I will also have the links for you for this lesson. Okay. They will probably go out to you tomorrow.
Oh, thank you.
And I am going to add a link to a song from the musical Hamilton. Okay. Maybe Chiara remembers Hamilton, because we talked
a lot about it. Yes.
Yeah, because Chiara was in my class last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So she, like you, she was in online classes also during the pandemic.
Yes.
So we talked a lot about American culture, music, writing, art, etc. So we did talk about Hamilton, because Hamilton, the musical, was on Broadway, and it was very difficult to have tickets. And during the pandemic, there was no Broadway, but they put many theatrical productions online. And so also Hamilton was streamed onto Disney Plus, and we were so happy. Yay, I can see Hamilton. So I was very happy to watch that. And it's still one of my favorite musicals. I love musicals, and I love Hamilton. And it's interesting because Hamilton, on, I think, Tuesday afternoon, students can go see the musical on Broadway, and they pay $10 because Alexander Hamilton is on the $10 bill. But if you and I want to see, did you understand?
No, I'm sorry, because there was
problem.
Driving, and noise. Can you repeat? $10. The student could on Tuesday see the musical for $10.
Yes, because Alexander Hamilton, his face is on the $10 bill.
Otherwise, how much is the
200, 250?
Oh yeah.
If I go or if you go, we pay. Students have a good discount. We don't have a good discount.
No.
But we can watch it on Disney, and we pay €8 or something for the month. So, any questions before we close for today? Questions?
No, only it was very interesting hear about with you about the US Constitution, but a little difficult. But I like this argument. Yes.
Thank you. Maybe next time, if there's two of you, maybe they can just turn off the big sound and just have one computer.
Oh, yeah. Yes, yes.
That's
Better,
a better
because,
idea.
because we see you better in the on the laptop. Yes, and it's and even the sound moment is better. What do you think, Luisa? For me, yes.
It's so a tone, high tone is a little.
Maybe if Simone will be here next time, before we start, we can check the audio and yes, try to find the better solution, because it was very annoying and it's very difficult to understand, because the words yes had that echo.
Yeah. I will come 10 minutes early next week, okay?
Thank you.
And we will solve the problem. We solve everything together.
Okay.
We'll manage. We'll succeed.
We can do it.
Yeah.
You're Sicilian. Fantastic. Good. Well, also thank you, Bruna, for offering to host me in December. So we will be together in Bolzano in December. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I live near, and I'm alone, and so no problem.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I love that.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great week.
You too. Thank you too, Caroline.
Thanks, Bruna, Luisa. Thank you, Chiara.
Okay.
Thank you
everyone.
for inviting me. Thank
Stay
you and
safe.
for
See
the
you next
time.
week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.